Hi, I'm Stephanie Haynes with the Indiana Arts Commission, and I'm talking today with Brian Norton of Easterseals Crossroads. Brian, will you tell us a little bit about Easterseals Crossroads and the work you do there?
Sure. We are community-based comprehensive rehab center here on the northeast side of Indianapolis. We are an Easterseals affiliate, and really we're all about disability services. And so we've been serving folks with disabilities and promoting independence for persons with disabilities for the past 80 years. And I work in our assistive technology program, specifically with the state AT program in data. And we have all sorts of accommodation services for folks with disabilities.
Awesome, great. So Brian is a super creative guy when it comes to figuring out accommodations that need to be made for people with disabilities to be fully and participating in a great way. So I'm going to let Brian tell us a little more about some of the ways he's come up with accommodations, some tools he knows about that can help accommodations specifically for the arts.
Yeah, so, when I think about the arts, I think we're all creative people, right? And so I think one of the things just to mention right off the bat is we don't have to kind of go looking all that far for things. You might find things that are in your own space. Perhaps you have a child who has a sensory impairment, so they need to be able to feel things and touch things. And so look in your pantry and maybe you can paint with noodles. And so we've used cooked noodles, spaghetti noodles. We put paint on a platter. They get those noodles in there and they're able to paint and they actually have that sensory touch and feel with what they do with painting. And then you may have other individuals just with other types of crafts who may use handwriting guides or other kinds of things for drawing assistance. Maybe they're adaptive equipment in some way, shape, or form. I have a couple of examples of these things, and so I'll hold up. These are just Crayola markers, and they have large grips on them so that if you have dexterity or fine motor control issues, you've got something larger to be able to grab onto, to be able to hold steadily in your hand as you draw. And along with those, we have lots of other different types of utensils or items that you might be able to do different tasks like cut paper. So this is actually a scissors. It's got a little cup. You hold that down on top of your paper, slide it across. It's sharp enough to cut paper, but it's not sharp enough to cut you. So it's pretty safe, but a different way to be able to cut. And there's lots of adaptive scissors and other types of adaptive tools. This is actually a ruler. It's got invisible ink, so you run that across your paper, and then the ink will go away, but it'll tell you how long you went. And so it'll tell you different measurements. And this is an adaptive glue stick. It's a different way to be able to hold glue, to be able to kind of glue your projects together. And along with that, we also have different types of handwriting guides. So this one actually has a hole in the very top. You can put a pencil in here. You put your hand on top of it. And if you can't hold a pencil traditionally, you can slip a pencil in there to be able to then write on paper, draw, do different things like that. But we also have some really interesting other types of things as well. One of those is a Swell form graphics printer, if you will. So this is special paper. And what's great about this is whenever you design something, you can print it out on a piece of paper that's called Swell form paper. You can run it through basically a heater. And what it does is it heats up that image. And what you'll find is it makes raised line drawing so that folks with visual impairments can experience the art in a different way by touching and feeling it. And so darker regions will get puffed up more. And then lighter regions are less. And so you can feel the different textual parts of the image. And so I've got a couple examples. That's a flower. And then this one here is some other types of art that have been run through there to be able to give people an example to be able to touch and feel that stuff. So lots of different things. Even for computer access, we have different types of keyboards and mice, different ways for people to be able to access the computer for computer related drawings or graphics, those types of things. Lots of different computer adaptations as well for individuals.
Yeah, that makes me think, I wanted to cross over from visual arts, but also include the other performing arts. Like, if you were using GarageBand and you needed that special mouse access, that could be a really great way to create music. Or maybe the pencil gripper could be hold a drumstick or another kind of percussion item. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, yeah, and there are lots of options for folks. You know, whether you're playing an instrument, whether you're composing music or other types of things on the computer, lots of options that folks can take advantage of to be able to make that something that they can do with ease by adapting it a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. And those things that you showed us, they're available to be borrowed from your collection, is that right?
Yeah, so the InData program, which is the state AT Act program here in the state of Indiana, we have a loan library. People can borrow items for 30 days free of charge. Consider going to your library and checking out a book. The same thing happens with the technology that we have available in our library. You can borrow it for 30 days free of charge, figure out if that particular product is going to work for you, and hopefully then make an informed decision. Do you really want to spend the money on it?
And can you help people find out where to buy the equipment then after they find out they like it?
Yeah, so every item links to a manufacturer or a place that you can purchase it, and we'll tell you what that retail price is. And so, yeah, we'll connect folks to the people that they can purchase it from.
That's awesome. And the Swell paper, is that a printer that you have that they could utilize, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that's in our assistive technology lab. And so it's mostly for demonstration purposes, so that folks can kind of see it. You can actually come in and get a demo of it, and then we can kind of tell you where you might be able to pick one up if you run a program or arts program or those types of things. We can tell you where to go purchase that.
Yeah, is that something you could maybe order online and have someone print for you and get shipped to your house?
You know, I'm not sure if Swell form can be, if there's places that'll do that for you. I know you can do, there are places where you can purchase Braille printout. So raised line drawings of different things, specifically using Braille as an output method. I'm not sure about the Swell form.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think this is just a really great, quick kind of inspiration moment to say, we can all make accommodations. The arts, we're all creative. And as you've shown, that it sometimes just takes the most simple items or a simple adjustment to make sure you're inclusive and that everyone can fully participate and be a great member of your artistic community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.